When we think of Mary, we refer to her with many different names. Madonna, Theotokos, which is Greek for God-bearer. But I think the primary name that we always refer to Mary as our mother, the mother of God, and yet our spiritual mother. We believe that parents are the primary educators of their children in matters of faith and morals. And why not? They're with their children 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The church is here to assist and support the parents in educating their children. Well, Mary, our spiritual mother, is also our parent that educates us in the matters of faith. In this case, the faith of her Son, Jesus Christ. What I would like to do is offer you just 3 ways in this presentation in which Mary demonstrates to us 3 important values to help us grow in our faith lives. The first is trust. Trust in God's will for us. I think that can be most clearly seen in the story of the Annunciation. The angel Gabriel appears to Mary and announces to her that she will bear Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Now, Mary, prior to this message, has the whole world in front of her. She is about to be married to the man she loves, Joseph, and start a family with him. And yet all this is going to turn upside down. The life that she knew was going to drastically change forever. It will never be the same. She would now bear the Son of God. She was risking everything. She was risking her marriage with Joseph, because eventually Joseph would find out that this child was not his. Worse yet, Mary was risking her own life. A woman caught in adultery in the ancient world was punishable by stoning to death. And so Mary was risking everything by accepting her role in salvation history. And yet, what does she say to the angel Gabriel? I am the handmaiden of the Lord. Let it be done to me according to your word. Does Mary truly understand exactly what her role will be in salvation history? I don't think so. That's why she asks the angel Gabriel, how can she conceive when she does not know or have any relationship with a man? Mary doesn't understand the big picture, yet she trusts. She has faith. Complete faith in God. She has a complete trust that God will care for her. She wholeheartedly embraces the will of God. The first thing that we learn from Mary, our mother, is to trust in God. We won't necessarily always see the big picture as God sees it. We won't necessarily always understand God's will in our life, or even the things that happen to us, the challenges that we face, but we must trust and have faith. Mary, our mother, teaches us that. A second great value that Mary teaches us as our mother is that of humility. Remember the story of the visitation. After the angel Gabriel leaves Mary, Mary realizes that her cousin Elizabeth is in need of her help, and so she leaves in haste to the hill country. Mary knows that the child that she is about to bear is the Son of God, and therefore she will be the Mother of God, an important figure in the life of our church and the world. Yet, does she allow that title to consume her? Not at all. In fact, just the opposite. Mary never loses her identity as the servant of God and the servant of others. As soon as she realizes that Elizabeth is pregnant and needs her help, she immediately casts all things aside and goes and helps Elizabeth. She sets out on a very difficult journey, especially for a woman who's pregnant. Now, the Gospels don't necessarily tell us exactly what Mary did to help Elizabeth or Zechariah. We can only imagine that because of Elizabeth's advanced age, Mary had to do many of the chores of the house. She probably had to do the cooking, the cleaning. She probably had to go to the well every day to get the water. She probably had to go to the marketplace for shopping. Now, all these activities aren't exactly the activities of a queen, let alone the queen of heaven and earth, but they are the activities that Mary, our spiritual mother, performed on behalf of Elizabeth and Zechariah. A second value that Mary now teaches us is humility. Humility is something that we must always practice in our life. Mary is one of the greatest examples of humility, second only to Jesus Christ, her Son. We must always put the needs of others before ourselves. Then we will be practicing true discipleship. A third value that Mary teaches us is that of prayer and study. Refer to the story in which the shepherds visit Mary, Jesus, and Joseph. The shepherds tell Mary and Joseph of the news that the angels had proclaimed, that Jesus Christ was born. It says, Mary pondered all these things in her heart. Cardinal John Henry Newman once said that Mary is the mother of all theologians. Theologians are people that study and learn about God, the teachings of Christ, His church, and the spiritual life, and then turn and teach others. I think Mary is trying to teach us a valuable lesson on how we can come to understand some of the mysteries of the divine. First, yes, we must study. That's always important. We must grow in our knowledge and wisdom of God. Yet, in order for us to truly understand, put all the pieces together, we must take that knowledge to prayer. Prayer is a vital component in helping us understand who God is and where He is in our life. And Mary does just that. Yes, she takes in all this information, yet she ponders it in her heart. She prays over it. And so too must we. In order for us to truly understand, appreciate, and grow in our faith, we must incorporate both wisdom and the intellect along with the spiritual and prayerful life. Like Mary, we are grasped. St. John Chrysostom once said, the longest spiritual journey ever taken is from the head to the heart. And I think that is what Mary is trying to teach us. We must incorporate both the intellect as well as the prayerful and spiritual life in order for us to begin to understand the mysteries of God in our life. My friends, Mary is truly our spiritual mother. And like a good parent, a good mother, she is one of the primary educators for us, her children. She teaches us three important values that help us grow in the faith of her Son: trust, humility, and the importance of study. Therefore, what should we do? Pray to her that, like a good mother, she will always help us in growing in our faith and our love of her Son, Jesus Christ.